Hey guys, what's up? It's Rygar the Destroyer, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Target exclusive ARC Trooper Echo from the Star Wars Black Series. Now, as always, if you guys like this video and want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's free, and it really helps out the channel. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy's packaging. Here it is. As you can see, it is in the original Clone Wars packaging style, which I absolutely love. Looks awesome. When you flip it around onto the back, there's really nothing to speak of other than the character's name up here. So let's go ahead and get back to the figure itself here. Now, Echo, with his helmet on, stands to the top of his antenna, about 6¼ inches tall, and then he's about 6 inches tall to the top of his helmet. So he's right in scale with all of your other Black Series figures, and he does come with a ton of accessories. The first one is already on the figure here, and that is his helmet. Now, one thing I will say is that from certain angles, especially the front, I don't think that they nailed the sculpt. It feels maybe just a little bit too big or wide or something. Just doesn't look right to me, but from like a 3/4 angle, it looks absolutely fantastic, and that's not enough to like discourage you from buying the figure or anything. Just something that I want to point out, and that's something that I'll be doing a lot of in this video. Is I'm going to be somewhat hypercritical of this figure, just because it is very, very expensive. Target does a terrible job of distributing their figures and trying to prevent scalping on their website. So this figure is very difficult to get, and most of you will have to buy it from a scalper on eBay or something like I did. And for that reason, I want to make sure that you guys know every single little problem with this figure before you spend the big dollars purchasing it. So just keep that in mind throughout the video, that this figure is absolutely amazing, but I'm going to be very hypercritical on it. So anyway, continuing on, it does have a moving rangefinder, which can be placed down. Super cool feature, and it works well. One thing I will say is that on this figure, some of the paintwork is clean, but some of it is not. And on the helmet here is an excellent example of that, where they have just not quite lined up the paintwork perfectly on there. Again, not a huge deal, but it is something that is worth mentioning. Underneath the helmet, they do have a very nice likeness of a clone trooper under there, which I think looks nice, and they have done the face printing tech on that. Up next, he has 2 blaster pistols here. Of course, we've seen these before in the Black Series. No paintwork or anything on them, but they are nicely sculpted, and they do fit into the holsters on the sides of his belt here. They slide in just like that, and they're nice and tight in there, so they're not going to fall out while you're posing the figure. Up next, we've got another blaster rifle here. Again, one that we've seen a bunch of times. You know, nicely detailed, but again, no paintwork on there. It would have been nice to see a dry brush or something on there. And then finally, he does have this blaster rifle here. Again, one that we've seen before, nicely detailed, but the same problem as the others, there's just no paintwork. Now, I will say that at the original retail price, I would normally give Hasbro a pass for that because, you know, they've given you a lot of stuff here. There's a ton of new parts and a ton of accessories. So at the original retail price, I would say that this guy is a heck of a deal. It's less of a good deal when you're paying, you know, double or triple the price on the aftermarket. But anyway, continuing on, his articulation is fairly well done here. We'll go ahead and run through it. Underneath the helmet, we have a single ball peg in the head and a single ball peg at the base of the neck. And between the two of those, you do get a really nice natural flow of articulation that I think makes posing really easy. He does have butterfly joints here in the shoulders. It's kind of hard to show off. You can sort of see down in there. It allows his shoulder to come forward and back, and that is on both sides, which is nice. He does have ball hinge shoulders. Give him about 90 degrees there, and they do swivel 360, although the articulation is interrupted by his shoulder pads here. He does have a hinge and swivel here at the elbow, gives him about 90 degrees, which is nice. And you can see one of the new parts that they sculpted for this figure, which I always love to see because, you know, obviously once they've sculpted it, they can use it again to make more ARC Trooper figures. At the wrist, he does have a hinge and swivel as well. On this hand, it runs this way, and on the other side, it runs this way. So they are crossed, but that does make posing of rifles a lot easier. At the waist here, he's got what feels like a single ball peg Nice range of motion there, enough to get the job done. And then here on the chest, you can see they've done a nice job of painting the handprint on there. And then on the back, they do have a nicely painted backpack on there. And again, this is all a new piece here, which again, they could reuse later to make more ARC Trooper figures. And hopefully they'll reuse later to make more ARC Trooper figures. Moving down to the hips, he does have T-jointed hips. The articulation is interrupted by the little skirts here, which are made of a soft plastic, but they do get in the way. Not much that Hasbro could have done there, aside from using actual fabric on there. But I think because of the, design that's on the actual fabric in the show, I think it was a smart decision to actually just go with a sculpted piece here. There is a thigh swivel nicely hidden there at the hip. Then he's got single jointed knees. Give him a little over 90 degrees, which is nice, and there is a swivel there again. We see some new parts again, which I love to see. And again, at the feet here, we've got hinged ankles with an ankle rocker. So overall, what do I think of this figure? Frankly, I think it's absolutely amazing. He is a fan favorite, and they have done an absolutely fantastic job of capturing the likeness from the show. I do have some minor complaints, but frankly, they're nitpicks. Honestly, if you purchase this at its retail price, I think it's a fantastic deal. It's an amazing looking figure, and frankly, it's probably one of the best currently in the Black Series. One thing I will complain about, though, is that it's an exclusive. I don't know why Hasbro keeps doing this, frankly. The exclusive systems, especially at Target and Walmart, breed a kind of a scalper environment that I think really ruins the hobby. And for me to even obtain this figure, I had to buy it off of a scalper and pay about double the retail price. And do I think that the average collector should be doing that for a figure like this? No, it's really hard to recommend, spending that much money on a single figure. So do I think that this should be in everybody's collection? Yes. I think Hasbro should 100% re-release it. If you absolutely have to have it, if he's your favorite character, go ahead and pick him up from a scalper. But I really am disappointed with Hasbro not making this just a regular lineup figure, because, he's popular enough in the Clone Wars. I think he deserves it. So anyway, tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below, and I guess I'll see you later.